Karen and I always say that Deborah's our third sister. We absolutely love her. I want to ask Trevor and Elizabeth, who were featured in the video, to please stand for sharing their beautiful stories with us. And I'd like to thank Osprey for their beautiful work on that video as well. As you just saw, the MMRF does not look like your typical nonprofit at all. Time magazine recently described us as a no-nonsense business model speeding drug development. Forbes called us a force to be reckoned with. I don't think we were always described this way, but I think we became more determined and driven as we saw the devastation that cancer brings. Cancer. We don't want to think about it, but we need to. 1 in 2 of us in this room will be diagnosed with this disease. 1 in 3 of us will die from it. And thank God we are making a lot of progress against many cancers today. But sadly, the orphan ones, like myeloma, pancreatic, and brain tumors, remain 100% fatal. And the reason is actually pretty simple. It takes about 10 years and $1 billion to bring a new drug to market. And when the returns are smaller, it's really hard to find new treatments in these more uncommon diseases. So that's why we started the MMRF. It was to make sure that we could get new treatments to myeloma patients. But as you saw, we ended up with a new model that's taking time and risk out of a somewhat broken drug development system. We didn't do our work alone. We worked with the best scientists, doctors, and pharmaceutical companies in the world, and I'm so glad that many of them are here with us tonight. But we would all say that there were days that it felt like we were running head first into a brick wall. And we chiseled away at the problems one by one. We started with a centralized tissue bank so that we could conduct genomic research. And I think that next year you may just hear that we will be the first cancer to fully sequence our own genome. We built a consortium of the best academic centers, and we launched over 15 new trials of next-generation drugs. And every time we launched a trial, we evaluated every step at every center to try and find new solutions to make the next trial happen better, faster, more efficiently. What we've done is unbelievable, and I am so proud of our accomplishments and the fact that we've done it together. And so it might surprise you that there are still days I wake up and say, am I really doing the right thing? I have been given an amazing gift, more years than I ever expected, to see our children, Nicole and David, grow. And I've cherished so many moments with them, every birthday, every first day of school, every soccer game. But boy, I've missed a lot, too. And they never complain. They never ever judge. But I do wonder sometimes if they understand my dilemma of trying to work so hard to save lives while missing part of theirs. But then there's always something that happens along the way, and it reminds me of why I go to work every single day. And this year, we attended a funeral of this incredible man. He was a friend, a husband, a father of 4 gorgeous children. He died of a brain tumor. And the funeral was emotional, but in this incredibly positive way. They had a guitar player and music and stories and photos and jokes and so much laughter. And I remember looking over at my husband Paul and saying, he would have been so happy to see this. Just this unbelievable celebration of a life that was so well lived. And then out of the corner of my eye, I looked over at our daughter Nicole, and tears were just streaming down her face. So I gave her a hug, and I waited until the next day so that I could talk with her. She told me that she was so sad for her dear friend, one of her best friends, that had lost her dad at such a young age. She told me she was so scared that I was going to die soon, too. She said, "Mom, you always tell us that if we have hope, if we stay positive, that we're going to beat your cancer." They had hope. They were so positive, and he's gone. Life is so unfair. Life is unfair. And sometimes it's devastating as we watch families we love lose a father, and this year in New Canaan, even a very young son. And it makes me realize even more how blessed I am that 12 years ago, when Karen and I decided to do something, all of you embraced us. And it's the reason we are where we are today. Many of you may have heard of Randy Pausch. He had a very public battle, just a 6-month battle, with pancreatic cancer before he passed away this year. And he was a professor. So he did what was called the last lecture, where he helped people to understand how do you achieve your childhood dreams. And it became a best-selling book. My favorite quote of his was, "The brick walls are not there to keep us out. The brick walls are there to give us a chance to show how badly we want something." When I was diagnosed with myeloma, I held Nicole and David in my arms. I wanted so badly for them just to remember that they had a mom. And now I look at how far we've come. Because in that video, you just saw these little flashing snippets, but one of those was Nicole. She was cheerleading at her first high school homecoming game. That little girl has wanted to be a high school cheerleader since she was in 3rd grade, and I never dreamed that I would share that moment with her. Never. And to share it tonight, knowing her coach and members of her team with her, is just extra special. And David, well, David has held a baseball bat and a glove and a ball in his hand since I think he walked. And to see him go all the way to the World Series this year with his dad coaching him. I can only tell you that life doesn't get any better than that. It just doesn't. And I'm so grateful for the window that I've been given, no matter how long or how short it may be. And I know that with this great team that works with me, we can take everything that we've learned on our journey in myeloma and share it with other cancers so that nobody ever hears those words, "You have cancer, it's incurable." We're not done yet. That brick wall is still standing, but each year a bigger piece is missing. And in my dreams now, the red stone pieces are lying on the green grass, and they're broken. My children are beyond it, in a field, leading cheers, playing baseball. I'm there, and so are all of you. God bless us all, and thank you.